Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Alright, so we are in October right now, which means holiday season is pretty much kicked in. Sneaker releases have ramped up and they are now pretty much every single weekend, and they are super hyped. So I thought with all these chaotic Yeezy releases coming through, I thought why not take an opportunity to look back on the year of 2020. I know it's been a bit crazy this year. So of course the year isn't done and there are literally plenty of Yeezy releases still to come. And in fact, we have seen the full Yeezy calendar for the rest of the year. However, I wanted to focus on my top 5 and I think most of them have already released. So I'm going to give you my top 5 and of course I invite all of you to do the same down in the comment sections. Let me know because it is pretty interesting. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into number 5. Right, so number 5 on my list is actually a pair of shoes which I no longer have. And it is the Yeezy 350 V2 in the Taillight colorway. So the Yeezy 350 Taillight actually released earlier this year in February, and it was part of a region exclusive pack which featured the earth brown and of course the flax colorway. Now the Taillight was the EU exclusive, which obviously meant that I was able to get a pair. Now not only is this one of my favorite Yeezy 350s to release the whole year, it's actually one of my biggest regrets letting it go. So that's why I don't have it with me now. At the time I just had too many 350s and now I'm left with a hole in my heart because they are reselling for a huge amount. So right now they're pretty much going for around £300 in my size. However, I'm not willing to pay that, so I'm just gonna have to wait and see if they ever come back into my collection. The Yeezy Taillight is just clean. It's just a almost solid, really light gray color, and it has that pull tab which I'm missing. I miss the pull tab. I wish they brought it back. 350s have seemed to just kind of got rid of it nowadays. So with all that being said, that is number 5 on my list. So let's jump into number 4. Alright, so number 4 on my list, I actually have in hand the Yeezy MNVN, specifically in this triple black colorway. So this decision to choose the triple black version was a little bit of a tough choice. I do like pretty much all of the colorways of the MNVN, and I chose the triple black because it is the most wearable. And however, I brought out the phosphor because I really like the phosphor. So I'd say at number 4 on my list, it would have to be both of these. I had to choose, I would take the triple black. I think the MNVN silhouette in general is amazing. It basically took the 700 V1 or V2 and just made it more affordable and I think just a little bit more modern looking. But even though the MNVN is probably one of the most limited Yeezys in the entire Yeezy lineup, they still do not resell for that much. It is a massive pro for anybody who wants to grab a pair right now. In fact, the triple black is going for about maybe $250 or just under. The phosphor is even lower than that. But either way, number 4 on my list is the MNVN in this triple black, simple but beautiful colorway. Alright, so we're now at number 3 on my list, and this one is probably not surprising for you, but I find it pretty surprising that I would choose this, and it is the Yeezy Quantum. The Yeezy Quantum, I really didn't think I would like. However, I now have both the original and the barium colorway, and I love them. So for number 3 on my list, I am gonna choose the OG colorway. I do think it is a nicer colorway. It looks better. So the Yeezy Quantum in this OG colorway originally released back in February, I think the 16th. It was All-Star Weekend, and that first release was literally limited to Chicago only. So of course I wasn't able to grab a pair back then. However, these did restock last month on the 5th of September. And that's obviously how I got my pair, and since then the resale on these has got a lot lower. So these are pretty attainable. If it's a pair of shoes that you haven't tried out yet, definitely recommend it. Again, it's number 3 on my list. I love them. The one releasing in December, well, that's the frozen blue colorway that glows in the dark, and that one I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but I'm definitely gonna have to get it in hand to be able to make that decision. But for right now, number 3 on my list remains to be the OG colorway until December rolls around and maybe I change my mind. so we are now at number 2 on my list, and unfortunately, I don't have this pair either. Now, this really could not be a top 5 Yeezy list without this shoe included. But again, a lot of people are going to either agree or just completely disagree. At number 2, I have the Yeezy Foam Runner. And of course, I don't have it in hand because when it released back in June, it was a USA exclusive. So it exclusively released, I think it was a shock drop actually, back in June on Yeezy Supply, and that was the only way you could get it. It was obviously very, very limited. However, it's number 2 because there's definitely going to be more colorways of the Yeezy Foam Runner, definitely going to be a lot more stock, and I think it's just going to be a lot more attainable. If you're looking to get the Foam Runner right now, which is why I don't have it, it's going for about 500 to 600 pounds. You heard me right. This is a $75 shoe going for 600 pounds. That is ridiculous, and there is no way in hell I'm going to be paying that. You know how I think about the Yeezy Foam Runner? It's like, you know those car companies that put out concept cars that are like fully autonomous and they're like electric and they have like racing steering wheels and lights coming out from inside of the car. They have these really sleek interiors, but they never actually release those. Well, that's how I think of the Foam Runner. I think it's just like a crazy concept shoe that actually released. Before we jump into my favorite Yeezy sneaker for the entire year, I do want to give you 3 sneakers that are on my honorable mentions list. First one being the Yeezy 350 V2 in the Zion colorway. Right, so this 350, I guess everybody has a pair because there was such a high stock number. However, it doesn't stop me from just loving this colorway. It's an amazing colorway. I think it looks really, really good. It didn't quite make my top 5, but definitely wanted to add it into this video somehow because I really appreciate this color. It looks amazing on foot. It's a really cool mixture of like this creamy tan color. It's got a little bit of a hue of like a greenish or olive tone, and of course has some slight burgundy or maroon. Next up for honorable mentions, pretty much because I don't have it in hand, is going to be the Yeezy 380 in the calcite colorway. Right, so you remember the 380s? Yeah, the ones that nobody likes. Well, we're getting one that potentially might actually sell out. So this calcite colorway is almost a solid white and it glows in the dark. So you guys know how much I like my glow-in-the-dark shoes. It's becoming a bit of a thing for me. Now this calcite colorway actually releases this month, and I'm pretty sure it's on Halloween, October the 31st. I'm pretty sure that's when the release date is. Don't quote me on that. Just I'm pretty sure. Last one on my honorable mentions is probably one of my favorite 350s. In fact, it's definitely my favorite apart from the tail light to release in 2020. And that is the Yeezy 350 in this Eliada colorway. So this one's like a mix between the clay and the earth brown or the earth colorway. I know it's probably not everybody's favorite, but for me personally, I really love this color. I think it looks super, super good. And this is probably my most anticipated for the next coming months. I'm pretty sure it releases in December. However, it might release in November. I gotta brush up on my Yeezy releases. But either way, let's get into my number 1. Back at the number 1, my favorite Yeezy sneaker to release from the entire year has to be the Yeezy 700 V3. So again, I was met with the decision to either choose the Alva or the Azareth. And again, similar to the MNVNs, I chose the more wearable option, even though I wanted to include this one because, man, it's a beautiful sneaker. Both of them look amazing, but I would probably have to go with the Alva. So the Alva actually released all the way back in April and was relatively limited. These are now reselling for about $350, I think, or $350 in my size anyway. But obviously the bigger sizes are reselling for a little bit more, probably more like $400. Yes, these are going to be a little bit more expensive. Now, of course, even though this is my favorite sneaker to release this year, there is still some cons to it, like any sneaker. Of course, it's not the most comfortable because, of course, they removed the boost on this. It does run a little bit tight, so you're probably going to want to go a half size up. This is definitely one of the better Yeezys to release. So this has to be number 1 on my list. But that pretty much wraps it up for my top 5 Yeezy sneakers to release in 2020. But hey, let me know what your top 5 is down in the comment section. And of course, if you want me to make another video, I was thinking of maybe making like my least favorite or my most hated Yeezy sneakers to release in 2020. If you're interested in something like that, maybe I'll put something together. But of course, let me know down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, joining me here again for another video. I will catch you guys in the next one. But until then,